How many of you would actually give up, stop in totality what you are doing to follow a path to a new world, a new beginning, or to God, or a path to a new mind? What if I say this path requires total selfishness to the point where nothing else matters? Now, I think it's important to point out that this path only has two ways to travel at any given time: good or bad, which are totally based off the perception of the perceiver. What if I say that to get to this new world or get to this new mind, you will have to stop going to your job? Now, I know somebody just said, man, you crazy, I'm not quitting my job. But hold on. What if I say to get to this new place, you have to stop worrying about paying bills? Because that's what keep you worried about going to your job anyway. What if I say that you have to stop worrying about rules or laws man has put in place? What if I tell you you must quit the laws in order to follow the law? What if I say that no two minds can occupy the same space at one time? Yet and though all minds occupy the same space at the same time. What if I say man can only serve one master? Would that really resonate? Can you see? Or can you see? How about man has been the master of man the whole time? What if I say that God only wants the selfish of you? What if I say that the selfish of you is all God sees fit? Now I know somebody's scratching their head. Let's keep going. What if I say that the awareness of you is how you find you, with the atonement of you is how you become you? I'm going to say that one more time. What if I say that the awareness of you is how you find you, with the atonement of you is how you become you? Now there are one mean to each end, in proportion that there's two sides to every story. What if I say that no man that puts his hand to the plow and look back is worthy of entering this new place? Would you now understand? Or would you say that nigga just quoted the Bible? What if I say that you will never finish plowing that garden if you keep looking back? Do selfish thoughts help you now understand? What if I say, is it possible? Is it possible that no matter how far right you go, you still end up left? And no matter how far up you go, you still can see up, therefore you still down? Is it possible that if you focus on you, you will begin to see others? Is it possible that the more you want to be loved, the more you will love others? Is it possible that selfish dislikes is why you dislike others? Is it possible that everything I'm saying to you is to misguide you? Is it possible that everything you've been told has already misguided you? Is it possible to see faults in yourself and not understand the faults in others? Is it possible to be truly full and not want to share with others? Is it possible to have nothing and still want to give? Is it possible that the more selfish you become, the more selfless you are? Is it possible the less you care about yourself, the less you care about others. Is it possible that you were taught to be right, which by default makes you wrong? Is it possible that if I say you have to go to the end in order to be free, would you go? Well, maybe you like being in the middle. You've gone just far enough to where you don't feel like roaming anymore. Is it possible that if you were told, really, to keep going to the end, would you understand? Is it possible you were told just enough to get to the center, but wasn't told enough to get you to the end? What if I say the center is where sin lives? Is it possible that the end is what really brings balance? What if you knew that balance was a full cup and not a half cup? What if you knew that to get to this new place doesn't require death? What if you knew that we only die because we believe we could kill? What if you knew that 2020 was really the year, and you know what I mean? Would you quit your job then so you could prepare? What if you knew that your eyes are the key to the universe? Then if I told you use 2020 vision, would you understand? What if you knew you were really under attack? What if I say, is it possible that you can't see the attacker? Would you fight back? What if you knew the eye was the picture of the universe? What if I say the eye is the only way to fight an invisible enemy? What if I say I am that I am? Would I spy still be just a game? What if you knew that God wasn't really God? What if you knew that every 6,000 years the world starts over? What if you knew that God only been God for 6,000 years? What if you knew that God preferred violence to nonviolence? We all know the Cain and Abel story is how God wanted you to see him. Now is it possible that God wanted you to see him as good regardless of his desires? How could it be a God and a devil? How could it be a him and no her? How could it be a child and mother with no father? How could it be a family with no masculinity? How could it be a we all we got if we don't have each other? How could it be a we tired of this shit if we ain't tied together? How could it be a job with no punishment? Is it possible that Job was to show you subliminally how to survive a job? How could it be a heaven and a hell? Is it possible one represents the rich and the other represents the poor? How could it be someone else's life is more important than yours? How could it be you know more about what they doing next than what you are doing next? How could it be that your whole life is all thoughts? How could it be that you are the creator or the center of your own universe? Is it possible that the body is the whole universe? How could it be that you don't even know this? Is it possible that you thought you wasn't important? Is it possible that God is man? Is it possible that man is the creator? How could it be that man can create everything we see physical except trees and grass? Is it possible that man once forgot? Is it possible that man once created a whole planet? How could it be that man can create a clone chicken, call it GME, genetically modified edition? How could it be that man and woman can create life? Is it possible that man can have created a mankind? How could it be that you don't recognize you? Is it possible you never had a chance? Gossip.